good morning, everybody. Good evening and good afternoon, because we are streaming live around the world. My name is Gis Nato, Chief Evangelist of iBrain. We're a community of best practice, and we are launching today with a great subject that is the optimization of the Guidewire platform, the cloud platform. So we got great speakers that are with us. So if we go to the slide where we present, we have Gal Josefsberg, the VP Product of Operation Cloud Platform at Guidewire. He's a president from California. And we have also François Gravel, who is a Promutuel Insurance VP of Application Product and Services, that is from Quebec. So welcome, Gal. Welcome, François. And Eric Marcoux, Beneva Insurance IT VP Property and Causality Business Solution, also from Quebec. So welcome, guys. How are you?
Doing great.
Doing great.
Perfect. So without any ado, I'm going to present also the audience. We have a very nice crowd with us. If we can go to the next slide. So those folks are, let's say, they are from US, they are from Argentina, they are from Canada, France, and they are more likely executive. They're also programmers, IT managers, architects, and product owners. So please, everyone, welcome to this great event. So to start on the technical side, on the slide number 4, you will see that you can manage your screen. You can ask questions. So you go to the A, you can click on A. This is where you have the questions. If you go to the slide where we see the slide number 4, so you can also visit and access the talent pool of iBrain. We have a talent pool of Guidewire certified specialists. You can also go to see the website when you click those 3 buttons at the lower part of your screen. So, and if ever you have a technical problem, you can also on the top of your screen, you can click technical, and there's people online to give you a hand on this. So I was the one managing the slides here, and I was asking people to change it. So here it is. We've got this technical element. So A, B, C, D. A is for ask questions. So those questions are going to be received by a person that will look at them and send them to me, so that at the end of the session, the last 15 minutes, we're going to be able to ask your questions. Also, you got at B, the access to the talent pool, and C, you can have access to the iBrain website. So I've been told by one of the speakers a few days ago when we were preparing the event that, you know, you need to go to skate toward where the puck is going and not where it has been. So the cloud and companies changing their, let's say, direction to use and integrate this best practice and solutions is the future. So if we look at a certain history, I've been working in the insurance domain for maybe since 2004, and at that time, if you remember, there was the mainframe, or AS400, to give an example, that were developed in RPG. And you know, at a certain point, if you remember, the solution and the context of those companies, they become a little bit spaghetti. What it means is that it was difficult to bring some services and to optimize your processes. So what was then developed was a SOA, you know, the era of service-oriented architecture. Then you could develop a library and pick up those services and then optimize necessarily your process. And then came the microservices, and that kind of an enhancement of SOA, and then the cloud. So today, what happened in this evolution is that Guidewire took the opportunity to bring this optimization for security, stability, and scalability. So this is where the insurance companies such as Beneva and Promutuel had decided to go forward. And so this expression of a hockey hockey professional such as Wayne Gretzky is applicable. And this is why François Gravel gave me this idea. So let me introduce you two of our panelist companies. We have Promutuel, who is a P&C car, home, business, and farm insurance. This company has been existed for almost 100, more than 100 years. So it's really a company in Canada. On the other part, we have Beneva, that is a group insurance, financial service, P&C life and health insurance product. And you see the numbers to give you an idea of what are their revenue and how big they are. So we're going to tackle three subjects today. So the first subject is going to be with our three panelists here. That is why Guidewire developed its cloud solution and why Promutuel Insurance and Beneva has chosen to integrate it. So it's basically the journey, what has been going on in this journey of integrating the Guidewire Cloud solution. The second panel will be on more operational side of how did Promutuel Insurance successfully implemented a distance development center in order to acquire the workforce. Because you know there was a shortage in the last years, there was a Guidewire certification, and also that today, because of this Guidewire certification, you can choose someone that could be in Lima or someone that is, let's say, in Netherlands, and they are certified at the same level. So that means that you have a kind of a standardization. Then the third would be the cloud has triggered a shift, an organizational shift with remote IT development. The pandemic has also contributed to this. So these are the three, is the backbone of this event. So let's jump in. So guys, you, Promutuel Insurance and Beneva, you have implemented this Guidewire Cloud solution, and we're going to tackle your journey and what are the valuable insight. So to give a little background of where you are at, we know that Promutuel is live since March 2023. They have a kind of a 2-month plan stabilization, and it is for policy, claim, and jutro, more the front end and the interface and user experience. And then you have Beneva, that is more at a kind of analysis, but also kind of, yes, planning, but also going live this June with Claim Center. And going live next year in Q1 for policy and billing center. So this is kind of like two speeds, two sides of companies. This is going to be very rich to discuss of. So I'm going to give the word to Gal to present a little bit about Guidewire.
Sure. And it's actually interesting in that you were saying, you know, Wayne Gretzky, go to where the puck is going. Guidewire was founded in 2001, right when the internet boom was in full swings. And it's kind of interesting. You know, the internet was all about, you know, remote on the web and consumers. And here's these founders who said, no, we're not going to do that. We're going to do self-managed software for the enterprise. And they did it quite well. And Guidewire sold self-managed on-prem software very successfully, giving insurance carriers everything they needed for 15, 16 years. And it was only in the last 5 or 6 years when the insurance industry started moving much more towards the cloud that Guidewire decided, if this is where the market's going, we want to stay the market leaders, and so we will as well. And to your point, over the last 5 or 6 years, Guidewire pivoted to the cloud, delivered a brand new cloud platform. You'll hear me referring to it as GWCP, Guidewire Cloud Platform, and has gotten quite a few of our customers on this cloud platform. It's been very satisfying to watch the pivot as we balanced both maintaining our current customer base as well as delivering these new functionality and technologies in the cloud.
Totally. I mean, it's quite impressive to see on how the market has evolved. And also, I mean, pandemic has brought a certain kind of, not scalability, but has bring some velocity. You know, I think that
Right.
there's kind of a high pace now. I heard from one of your colleagues, Gal, that there's like 40 companies ish now kind of going live, and 80 that has been that has registered to become a client of the Guidewire Cloud. I mean, this is kind of like out of, I don't know how many clients, around 500 or more Guidewire Cloud clients in the world. I mean, this is like 25%. It's kind of like
Correct.
going mainstream. So it's definitely a value. So without any ado, let me ask you the first question of this panel. So why did Guidewire decide, Gal, to go forward with the development of the Guidewire Cloud platform, the GWCP?
I mean, it's a great question. So, and I would say innovation, enabling innovation is the answer, but it actually, it's interesting in that it's split in two ways, right? One is our customers were telling us, hey, listen, tuning databases is not a competitive strength for us, right? Our carrier customers they're not going to give their customers better service just by tuning a database. They want to focus on innovation, really cool front ends, innovative lines of business that cater to their customers. And they said, that's what we want to focus on. We have these teams of developers. We want them to build that. We don't want the teams of developers working on high availability. That's a basic infrastructure service. Guidewire, can you provide that? So that's number one, was our customers were telling us, can you do this part so that we can focus on the innovation to our customers? And then there was also a bit of innovation on our side. If you think about the release cycle for on-prem software, it's 2-year release cycle, 2-year adoption cycle. So when you build new
True.
functionality, it's like 6 to 8
Takes
years
long.
before your customers. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Now
literally
it's
6
like,
to 8 years before customers
now
see it.
it's, yeah, yeah.
That's right. In the cloud, we deliver every 2 weeks, right? We have these big ski resort releases that
So
we release 3 times a year, so we can get new features and applications
innovation,
to our customers.
that brings innovation to the companies and your clients, because
That's right.
considerably if you had faster, shorter release, they can, I mean, beat the competition. You know, they are in the race. They are more in
That's
the
right.
race than compared to what you just said. This is quite interesting. But as why you have going to this kind of era, I mean, it was the voice of the customer, or you saw the light before. Yeah. Okay. Very
I
interesting.
mean, it's a mix. I always love to say, like, no, we were visionary. But I'll also be very candid and say our customers were very clear. They were saying, this is the future. We want Guidewire to be part of our future, and you need to adjust. So it was both push
Good.
and pull.
Good. Perfect. Perfect. So, on the side of Beneva, Eric and Francois, again, very pleased and very honored to have you guys with us. So, you have two different kind of. I mean, every company has different speeds. I mean, you have different contexts. Like Francois, why did you decide? And Eric, you know, it's an exchange about. Why did you go toward this solution? Why were the primary reason that Promutuel Insurance and Beneva Insurance chose to move forward with the Guidewire Cloud platform?
Yes. We chose to go to the cloud because it was never a question of if, but rather a question of when. And the famously phrase to go where the puck is going. So in 2021, we had roadmap plan to make an upgrade from the version 8 of the solutions to the version 10. But after careful consideration, we decided to move to the cloud instead.
Yeah.
The technological benefits of the cloud was with the business advantage, the easier upgrades, new features and
Yeah. Yeah.
capabilities. From a financial standpoint, it was very important to nail this part. Upgrading to V10 and investing in the cloud upgrade 5 years later would have been a costly and inefficient decision. The cloud
It was better to go
subscription
to the
is,
cloud.
yeah, and
Yeah.
the subscription is maybe a bit more expensive than or on-prem infrastructure, but we took into account the cost of obsolescence, the benefit of new content, the speed, the fact that we could avoid future upgrade, thus making the business case more clearer.
So the step from 8 to 10 compared to going to cloud was like on a spreadsheet was more logical into the costs, but also all the benefits. And you, Eric, on your side, what were the reasons that you went toward this solution of at least the cloud version?
Yeah, in the market of property and casualty, we are facing, I would say, a huge transformation because we have new players in the insurance industry that was not even insurance companies in the past. One good example of that is Amazon, that is offering car insurance in India. So if we want to face that kind of new companies and even startups, that comes with new ways of doing business. We need to change and transform ourselves. And if we want to stay alive, we need to go forward in that. So the cloud is not an option for us; it's a requirement. It will allow us to support our strategic objective for PNC. So it is a requirement. For me, the cloud is like an extension of my teams. Guidewire is like they were part of my development teams and vice versa. So we are working as partners together. And like Gal said a few minutes ago, the cloud is bringing us new features on a regular basis that we don't need to develop. And that's and the time to market for us, and also our innovation and delivering 3 times per year, and even 2 times, 1 times per 2 weeks, and hopefully, because one of my dreams is to be able to deliver every day. That will allow us to be competitive and face the market and players like Amazon that are doing that right now, and even Tesla and so on. So we need to be to have that kind of partnership and that kind of solution in order to stay alive for the years to come, and be more innovative and be more stronger in this transforming market.
Yeah, I mean, you and Francois are raising good points, but what I can feel, you look at Apple that is bringing the banking, you look at Amazon that's bringing the insurance, you know, you're going to have more players. I mean, it's a ring, right? And everybody's boxing.
Yeah.
So Gal, so I can imagine that this orientation of the cloud was basically to give, I mean, operationally wise, to be more efficient, but I mean, at the business side, they need to beat the competition, right? So what was that thought on your side at Guidewire to equip your existing clients, and I imagine others, to have the gloves to fight? You know, what was the main elements of the roadmap to give them the tool to be in the ring? Because I mean, if you fight against Amazon, that is, you know, they were selling books. Now they're doing cloud. They're selling insurance. I mean, they need to be equipped, right?
Correct. I mean, but that is what we're doing, right? So, and we mentioned this earlier, that the pace at which we can innovate and deliver features to our customers is much faster in the cloud. So I use Jutro as an example. Jutro, for those of you who don't know, is our new digital framework, right? We could iterate on this and deliver that to Beneva and to the Promutuel. It took us a few months, and then we got feedback and we immediately delivered more stuff. There's new digital components being delivered every day, and this is exactly right. This is what our customers need, because consumers these days expect an incredible digital experience, and we can deliver all these components, the design framework, to our customers. We can deliver more of them every 2 weeks, every month. You can get something new that you can deliver. Same for AI now. We can deliver that very quickly to our carriers, and then the carrier customers can take all these technologies and create their own experiences for their customers. That's how you compete against Amazon. To Eric's point, you iterate very, very quickly.
Yeah, true. So if Francois and Eric will look at the edge that this solution is bringing to you, you know, to be competing to a market that is becoming much more aggressive, you know, what are the elements that for you in this cloud version gave you to have, let's say, the gloves to go in the market and show more strengths. Because, you know, I've been looking for insurance for some of our employees that move to Canada, and I was looking at different companies, and I have to say that maybe 30% of my decision or 40% of my decision was regarding my experience on the web, you know? So it tells a lot that, you know, the clientele is looking and will go out rapidly if they don't have like a seamless, like online experience with good prices. So what is for you, Francois and Eric, what would be the edge that you see that this transformation, as Eric was saying, is bringing to you as a market boxer, in the sense of, I mean, you need to be the first. You need to be, you need to sell, right? You need to close deals. So what is giving you, and not only this, I mean, all your employees needs to like the environment they're developing, and also the system and the processes that you put in place. But what is the edge from your side that you see,
Um,
Eric and
I'll start
Francois?
I'll start with the for sure it's moving quite fast, and it is one of the reasons that we choose to have a platform like Guidewire's. It's because we know that they will help us going as fast as we could with what they are making for us. So right now, the new platform that Dial just talked about, Jutro, just has been implemented in our systems with or go live. So this is a part that we want to use. Jutro is the tooling sets, the platform that help us to deliver more quickly to the web, to the or client or insurance platform. So right now we already
Yeah,
had a small, not small, but processes of insurance that the members can use, but we want to develop it more for sure, and we want to go further up, because as you said, the members wants to use the channels that they want, and
yeah.
mainly there's the Jutro and also all of the process automation. We need to have more process automation in the platform, and to make it easier and as fluent as it should for the member when they use the insurance services.
Yeah, yeah. And on
and
our side,
and
Eric, when you, yeah,
oh, sorry.
go ahead, Eric. I was going
And
to ask you a
Francois,
question. I wanted to have your opinion.
we're live. We're live. That's good. So, in agreement that Francois shared, because we are traditional carriers, insurance companies. So we've been there for many years now, and most of our sales are being and services being provided by phone. Even if we have self-service available, most of our customers still take the phone and call our agents and our claims expert in order to get help, even for a new product. So or maybe adding a driver to the policy, car policy insurance, and so on. So that's the kind of market where we are. And we have the new generation where they don't want to call at all. They want to do everything over the web or
True,
on
true.
their mobile phone. So we have to transform ourselves. So like Francois said, we need to transform in the digital distribution channels, mobile app, web, and so on, in order to provide more autonomy to our customers and even future customers. So we need to provide everything that they need to gather a policy over the web entirely from zero to the end of it, and the same for the claims, and that to be very easy, simple. Not everyone understand the insurance languages, all the guarantees and so on. So we need to be very clear, simple. That's the first part of it. The other part is the omni-channel. So we want to continue the relationship where they began on the web, when they call us, so we can know exactly where they were. So Guidewire is providing that for us, even on the digital registro
Yeah.
and on the products where they are on the canal. And like François said, we call it on our side the automation for our employees. So in Canada, and I'm assuming that's the same in the other countries, we have hiring issues, all the companies overall. So we need to provide them more automation. More things that they
Yeah.
can be more autonomous, and so that they can concentrate their time in doing the counseling to our customers, and focus where they bring the most value to our customers,
Yeah. Yeah.
on either side, the billing, the claims, and also the sales. So that's why the cloud
Yeah.
platform is a must for us.
Totally. Totally. I
And
hear.
maybe one other aspect that
Y-
came to mind, just pretty quick, just like, is the transformation is not only for our customers and our business employees, it's for the IT person, all of my teams. So we are working very differently with the cloud because we have upgrades out of the box with switches that we need to put on. So we need to have a process in place to be aware of these new features. And also, how do we do the support, the operation side of it? So it's a huge change for my IT teams as well. Sorry, just like to add, cut you
Yeah.
off.
And just
Yeah.
if I may add something to that, so that's what we're hearing from many of our customers. It's exactly that. It's, customers used to do everything through an agent, and they would only talk to their insurance company once every couple of years, and but now everything is omni-channel. They want responses really quick. They want to be able to make policy changes, depending on, to Eric's point, depending on the generation. Some people want to call in, some people want to do it over the web, but they're expecting a customer experience that is,
Yeah.
they're expecting a 2023 customer experience, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, a lot of financial institutions were still giving them, let's say, 2010 customer experience. But that's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
That and the data, making sure that people are
Yeah.
looking at the data and making wise decisions on it.
Yeah, and what is interesting, it's the different generations. You know what you're facing as customers, because I mean, I remember my grandmother. We talked about her earlier. Gal, 82 years old, doing 20 laps in a pool in 20 minutes. She was an amazing woman, and she was a early adopter. She was like, computer, let's jump in, but it's not everybody that has 80 or 70 or 60 that will jump into the IT. So it's more telephone, traditional. And then you have the youngsters. I have like a 3-year-old. He's too young, but let's say maybe a 15-year-old that needs an insurance for his small moto. I mean, you need to have all those different level of services. So was this an element that was really well thought, Gal, in developing this version?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons we did this, right? Is because we know this is where our customers are going. And don't get me wrong, I mean, the call center, I started out, by the way, making call center software. Like, I think the call center will live forever because even eventually, some people just will always want to call and get a live person. But yes, 100%. That's
Yeah.
one of the reasons we did this, is because we wanted to enable these amazing digital experiences, and we just couldn't do that with a product that would only get upgraded every 6 or 8 years.
Yeah. And if Eric and Francois, you think about, because Gozu was the language that you folks at Guidewire you thought based on Java, and then you have Jutro that is more based on the React kind of a school of thought. Those two kind of new generation of programming and development and framework. I think is this a reason that had influenced you to go forward this kind of solution? Because it's difficult to find Java. It's difficult to find Java with Guidewire, and now it's more difficult to find Guidewire with certified that are satisfied. So in this decision to go toward the cloud, was this an element of thought on your side.
Is that to me or to the or to
To Eric and François, was the was was the was the languages and the accessibility of the developers. I mean, you already had Guidewire, so you already had those maybe besides Jutro, that is kind of a newcomer. But was this part of your decision?
Do you want me to go, François?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So no, it was not part of our decision, because when we took the decision to go to the Guidewire Cloud platform, Jutro was not existing at that time. So because Jutro is fairly new, but it's no, and yes, in fact, because at the time we took the decision, it was not even promoted or available, and we are going to the cloud because we need all the features and all the flexibility I shared earlier in order to help us attain our strategic objective. But now that we know Jutro and how it's been built, first I would like to congratulate Guidewire, because I think that they are an innovation part of it, because as far as I remember and I know, they're the first provider to provide an architecture that is targeted for developers, for front-end developers. That is the reality when you talk about self-service app mobile or even web, and they have the perfect, from my point of view, approach in order to deliver a new self-service with, yes, it's React, but React is well known for many front-end developers out there, and it's fairly easy to use, and it's small chunks of functionalities. They call that templates, and that's so amazing. So that's an accelerator for our customer like us, and that give us the flexibility. That's why I'm congratulating Guidewire for that approach, because we can integrate Jutro in an app, in a mobile app, and in any kind of web application as well. And that's what was the case with the previous approach that was called customer engaged. It was more a monolithic block or an app that was kind of harder to integrate in a web app, and especially for an insurance company like us, that not only offers property and casualty products, but also life and health, financial services, and group insurance. So, and we want to provide only one unique portal for our customers. So it was not part of the decision, but that's been a wow thing for us. Oh yeah, we took the good decision with GW CP for us.
Good. And on your part,
And
François?
yes, I have to say no also, because at the point that we started the journey, Jutro was at its early beginning, and I don't even know if it was named Jutro at the point. And at that moment in time, we had we understood the vision of the platform for sure, but we also understood that there was a risk, because there was a lot of capabilities and features that wasn't there at the time. So right now there's the new architecture with microservices for micro component within Jutro to be everywhere, and this architecture is something that we want to have more in the future for sure. It will help us a lot, and it's a great advancement for sure, instead of the old version that we had previously, because it was a fixed platform and difficult to manage, and right now it's kind of all you can eat buffet that you can do anything with the platform. And this is exactly what we require with the work that we want to do for our members in the digital platforms.
if anybody's
And maybe
curious, by the
Gal,
way,
yeah,
just
could you
for those
explain
who
a
are
little bit?
curious, Jutro is tomorrow in Polish. We have a large Polish development team as well, and so that's where the name came from. They're the ones who did a lot of the work on
Pretty
this,
good.
and it's meant to emphasize the fact that we're trying to think about the future and how customers will be using this for their consumers.
My grandmother could have told me this. She was Polish.
That's right.
That's very. I didn't know it meant this. And Gal, can you give us a kind of an insight in a nutshell? You know, what is it that Eric and Francois are talking that the old or the previous version of Jutro was maybe a little bit more monolithic, and then now you have this kind of library that gives this openness and flexibility, I hear.
It's yes. The previous digital experience for Guidewire was called Xengage, but the X stood for producer engage, consumer engage, agent engage. There were a number of these Xengage products. Each one was a digital portal meant for a different persona. And to Francois's point, each one was a monolithic piece of code, which meant that if you wanted to change little pieces of it, it was just hard to do. But for the
Okay.
time, for 10, 15 years ago, that was a great digital experience. With Jutro, everything is just like, services oriented architectures broke up the monolith into
Okay.
tiny little microservices. Jutro is meant to do the same thing, but for front end. So it breaks up a huge application into small components,
Okay.
making it easy to implement and also making it easy to embed. So you don't have to take the entire portal. You can just say, oh, here's Guidewire's little claims component. I'm going to take that and I'm going to embed that in my portal,
Okay. A
and you can
library.
pick and
Okay.
choose exactly. So
Okay.
that's the main
Excellent.
difference.
Excellent. So if we go to another question for Eric and Francois. So with this experience, because you guys are at different phases, but I mean you're totally in it. What is the lessons did you learn so far in your journey of implementing Guidewire? What would be, let's say, your 3 takes or 4 takes of your experience that you could share with the audience here? That because the audience, let's be clear, some are integrating it, some are thinking to do it, and others are kind of said no maybe 3 years ago, 1 year ago, and now they're like trying to understand the advantages, and you folks did it and are doing it right now. So what are the lessons that you could share?
Do you want me to go?
Go ahead, Eric.
Go ahead, Eric.
As you said, as you said, just like we're not at the same place. We are in our journey right now on Beneva's side, so we will be live in 1 month. But here are a few things based on our experience so far, and I would like to thank Francois in front of all of us, because Francois has been very helpful for me. We are competitors, but we help each other when we can, and he did that for me in order to he gave hints to me in order to prepare ourselves to this journey. So thank you, Francois. I hope that I will have the chance to return that for you in order to help you on something else eventually. So the first thing, maybe do not plan to do a big bang. I would not recommend that. So don't do all of the products at the same time, because it's a higher risk. So I think that we have a good approach in order to do claims first and then policy and billing. Policy and billings are quite integrated naturally together, so it's natural to do both at the same time. I would highly recommend to stay vanilla. It helps us a lot. We not have any personalization at all. Use governance to make sure that. And if you've been using Guidewire for long years now, use the health check of Guidewire to before doing your upgrade journey, and identify the things that you should fix, and fix these things. That will help you a lot, because if you are vanilla, it's an easier road to go to the cloud that if you're not, because you will have to do this anyway during your journey to the cloud. In terms of delivery, I would recommend to ask for help. We've used a fixed price approach on our side. It's a one-shot deal, and we have not done that any at all. We've done upgrades from V6 to V10 to V6 to V7, V8, V9, and so on, but not to the cloud. And it's a one-shot deal, because the other upgrades will be performed by Guidewire for us. So there are SIs everywhere, very strong in that kind of project. So ask them to help you. They are very good. We're working with Guidewire and GFT, that is our SR, local SR here in province of Quebec in Canada, and it's going very well. To be honest, it's my easiest Guidewire project at all for now. We're not live yet, but we will be in 1 month, and it's going so nice, and
So
it's awesome
going,
how it's going well.
so you're suggesting in this lesson to go be, small bites, piece by piece, and to make your journey a little bit slower into the integration of the different functions. That's what I hear.
Yeah, and maybe some other things. Try multiple dry runs. Very important, not only one, because the one is not representative. The others give you a better idea, and it's help you to plan your go live period because it's not 1 hour when you will be able to ready to do the go live work. So do multiple dry runs. Plan a lot of time to do business tests, user acceptance tests. It's very important, even if the screens have not changed that much. You need to do that all of these tests because we are choosing a few lines of codes in terms of integration points to go to the cloud. Go live before you go live if you can. What I mean by that, if you can go live with a smaller user amount of employees on our side, a claims agent just before the Monday morning. If you can go live on Sunday, as an example, do it because it will give you a good sense of how things are going. And for your IT teams, certify your experts. It's required to do a graduation of code into the Guidewire Cloud platform because for them to do the upgrades, we cannot graduate any kind of code. It has to be
Yeah.
code that is
Good.
still stay in the vanilla side of it. And the last
Good.
thing is make sure you understand the operating model of Guidewire before going to the cloud, because when there's a problem with the system, we receive the first call, not Guidewire. So you need to be aware how to do your other SLAs work and so on.
Good. And on your side, Francois, what would be the lesson learned so far in your journey with this implementation?
Yes, for sure. It was an awesome journey. It was such an experience to achieve that goal. And Eric said a lot of great things there. To be vanilla, for sure. It's on our end. It was a lift and shift project. So it was a vanilla for sure. But all of our customization that we had before had to be shipped to the cloud. So the first ingredient, I would say, for us, and something that was really, really great, was to build up your AAA team. Build up your AAA teams with great partners. It was Guidewire Services that made up the upgrade itself. And we had our principal partner, integrator GFT, also there within the team. So it was a great team and a great experience. The second ingredient, I would say adaptability. Our plan was really resilient and open to change. We recognized that a project of this magnitude will have its ups and downs. And uh, therefore, we had to be agile and adaptable. The leaders, the managers should be leaders prior to PMI bookers, and well supported by the executive. And
Good.
a principal lessons learned would be start early on from the beginning of the project to seek for the changes between your on-prem process and the new Guidewire Cloud process, such as the support incidents, the development tools, the environment, the NPE, performance testing. Be very close to your Guidewire technical manager and the Guidewire success manager throughout the entire project. And the platform just is evolving so fast that they are the one that will keep you up to date with the latest development in the cloud platform. So
Awesome.
that's the three key elements on our end.
That's pretty clear. So, um, on to this lesson learned, and on your different phases, you're going to go live. You're going to go live, if I understand, Eric, in June for Claim Center, right?
Yeah.
And then you're going to have billing and policy in January 24.
Yeah.
Yes. And And on your side, if I understand, Francois, you've been going live for the last 2 months and you're in a stabilization phase, right?
Yep.
So, what would be your desire of, because we hear two different companies with, I would like to have the new release every 2 weeks, and other people are saying, look, I would like to have maybe a release that is a little bit maybe less fast. What are your thoughts on that side, if I may ask?
Um, on our end, it's mostly the point where the release have to become seamless. And Guidewire is making a great parts in this for with automation tools that make up the upgrade process seamless for the code, but we still have to nail the test, the validation parts. So right now, depending on where we're at as a company, if your test acceptation test of all the platforms take you 1 month or 2 months, it would be crazy to
Then,
have the release once a week for sure. It's mainly all of the process should be automated if we want to have early release.
yeah, you need to be able to capture it and to metabolize it
Yes,
within the system.
and we are in a business where the system must work perfectly. So
Yeah,
if we implement the instabilities all of the time, it will be really difficult to manage the business. We are a financial business. The numbers and the clients, customer client services, everything is very important.
good. And on your side, Eric, what's your take on that's that element of release and rapidity?
Francois did say something very important. I'm assuming it's true for every companies, but in insurance, it's so true. The systems must be always available and very stable. We cannot bring downtime. The impact is so huge if we do that. So the way we see that is we have three major upgrades to perform each year. And based on our experience of how the upgrade is going on with Guidewire Services and GFT for claims, it's so smooth, to be honest. So I'm not worried at all that Guidewire, based on the fact that our solution is vanilla and we don't have any technical difficulties and so on. So I'm very confident that we will do our first upgrade this fall. So we will experience it, and we plan to do it 3 times per year. My understanding going forward is that Guidewire is going to microservices architecture. So eventually, from what I heard, they will plan to do short upgrades, adding short features every 2 weeks. They're not there yet, but that's my understanding, and that would make sense because this is how it works with Microsoft Teams, with the iPhones, and most of the software on the cloud we're using today, we've been using for many years now. So I see that Garo is doing the same. So that's why it does not fear me
No,
to go to that road and have access to these new features on a very short period of time because of
good.
that microservices architecture they're going forward to. So I'm very
So may I,
confident right
That's
now.
interesting. Yeah, yes, go.
if I may add, so what Eric's saying is
Yes.
exactly right. We have today some functionality already being delivered through microservices. Those are updated every week, every 2 weeks, and our carrier customers don't have to do anything. There's no testing they need to do. That just like any other software, that just shows up. We also have 3 releases a year where we deliver code that the carrier customer does need to do something with. Some of our carrier customers choose to only take one of those a year. Some we would like them to do more. There's important updates there, but even if they only take one a year, that's fine. Even those updates only take 2 to 3 weeks to take. But to Eric's point,
Yeah,
testing is key and making sure that
totally.
this can be easy, press the button, test suite runs, 2 weeks later, you're done, everything's up to date. Or, hopefully that's the way it
Yeah,
works. But we've gotten it
yeah.
down to so that even these big updates 3 times a year are pretty smooth.
Yeah, yeah. So my take is that also, as Francois said, I mean, you need to do the testing. It needs to be fluid before you can have another one coming along and giving the system the time to metabolize, the changes and integration. Excellent. So that brings me to another question for Gal. So in this perspective, for what you understand, because you're you're the master of the universe of Guidewire in terms of product, with a lot of people helping you. So what is the vision for Guidewire Cloud platform, and how does it help PNC insurance to achieve business outcomes? What's your vision, and what's the vision of Guidewire if you look at the roadmap and what's coming along?
So we had a very clear vision for Guidewire Cloud Platform when we started out, and we articulated in a single sentence, which was to make the job of developers effortless, right? Because again, Eric and Francois' development team should be focused on delivering business value. They should not be focused on optimizing databases, logging, authentication, all of these things, managing Kubernetes clusters, right? Like that does not bring them competitive value. It doesn't bring value to their end consumers.
Totally.
So our job is to make the developer's job effortless. We provide all the platform
Totally.
services so that their teams can focus on business value innovation. And that's also true for the Guidewire developer. We've got people internally building applications like Jutro. My job as the platform guy is to give them all the services they need so that they can just focus on delivering the application and not on the underlying services.
And how, I mean, it does help to your clients and your partners to enhance their services and to bring the business lines to the top of the game. But what could you say that it's coming? If you look at maybe some big, is there a secret that you can share that's going to be just between us about, what's hot? What's like very yummy that you can talk about? That's what's coming, that maybe you could share a bit.
I mean, the obvious answer is AI, right? Everybody's talking about it. I think, and there's with everything, there's a hype cycle. So it's, if you're Wayne
Yeah.
Gretzky, the question is the puck really going there, or is it hype? There's real value in AI, and we're focusing on two things. One, how do we enable our customers to build their own AI applications via platform services that enable that? And two, what interesting data and AI applications we want to provide to our customers that we've developed ourselves. But data and AI, I think that's going to be the hot thing over the next few years, as people really take advantage. And I know everybody's focused on Chat GPT and stuff like that. Those are really cool. Don't get me wrong, but just basic machine learning is incredible, right? Especially for a business like insurance. There's incredible possibilities there out of machine learning
Totally.
that we want to enable.
Yeah. There's a company in Canada called Coveo, and they're enhancing the experience of customer services, customer experience. So there's a lot of different angles that they can use AI for sure. But let's say Francois and Eric, and as well, Gal, what would be if you had a crystal ball, and you would like kind of see the future, where do you think AI could be, let's say that you had a magic stick, could be applied and bring the most value? I mean, it's a large question, but where would you put those, let's say, new tools and learning machines in place to bring value to your businesses? What would it be?
I will say firstly, the AI should be there at first to enhance the experience and enhance the employee. And so if I'm a member and I want to chat to have a response really quickly, and I'm on the web, surely to have an AI answer to me, it's okay. But again, if I'm in a situation where I'm in a need for something that is just happening. There is a fire in the house and anything. I don't. I want to talk with a human there still. So the AI should be there to enhance the experience, but I believe that it will not replace everything. And also, for the near future, what I will really like is to use the AI to make the enhancement of employee as fast as we could. Like just for our developers, if we could add up the AI to validate the code and to propose codes and to
Mm,
make up new the test automation that we just talked about. There's AI right now that is done to write test automations. How could those
that's very
AI
interesting.
could be put in place to help Gal with his vision to have the developers doing only the business works and not the operational works.
And on that side, Gal, uh, when you raise up this new era, you know, of AI, where do you think at Guidewire? I mean, can you give us some hint on where it's going to be applied to give an idea to people of what's ahead?
It's going to be applied everywhere, right? I mean, the technology is pretty cool. I agree with Francois. In at least in the short term, you know, maybe 20 years from now we'll all be replaced by AI. But at least in the short term, being 3 to 5 years, I think AI will enhance the experience, not replace a person. So both on the front end, I think we will deliver things that a consumer can ask questions of the AI and get more answers about their insurance policy. And also on the back end, as a developer, I should be able to have an assistant that when I say, what's the best way, what's the best library to use here, it gives me some options, it gives me some lines of code that I can pick up and use in my system. So if you're asking me where we're
Hmm,
going to implement AI, the answer is everywhere, back end, front end, everywhere.
totally.
And again, not just
Yeah.
AI, not just these assistants, but also machine learning as well.
Yeah, yeah, and the difference is important in understanding of where we can apply learning machine and AI. And
That's
Eric,
right.
on your side, if you think about, I told earlier that I needed to shop some insurance for some of the employees of iBrain that moved to Canada. I mean, where do you think the first step of AI or learning machine is going to be useful for the client experience? Are you talking about this at Beneva in the moment?
Yeah, we talk a lot about this and trying to figure out the right use cases. We don't think that many customers or new customers uh, want to take a picture of their driver's license and send that picture to us so we can interpret the information out of the photo because it's confidential information. So we're not sure we're there, but definitely ask less questions to provide a price for an home insurance or car insurance because of AI behind the scenes. We'll have discovered a lot of information about the risk. We have to fix a price on it. That's the kind of use case we see AI will be helpful
Okay.
under the hood, on the back end, like Gal said, but that will be helpful for our customer. And if we ask less questions and they can have an insurance policy faster, that they will appreciate, even if they
Hmm.
have not sent us a picture, a photo of their house or their car or their driver's license.
I understand. Okay, good, perfect. So if we go to another angle for Gal, you know, I understand from the new model of cloud of Guidewire is bringing for you guys at Guidewire to offer a kind of a more turnkey solution. So in the cloud, taking more, Guidewire is kind of taking more responsibilities in a certain sense of providing a more global service so that you folks at Beneva and Promutuel and the other insurance companies kind of focus more on the core or another type of priority. Can you elaborate, the advantages for customer first to express better what I'm trying to describe, because I'm sure that there's some nuance that I don't give. But what is the advantages for Eric and for Promutuel and François and Beneva of this service orientation of Guidewire?
So first of all, I agree with you. The old Guidewire would provide building materials and let the carrier build the house, right? The new Guidewire provides a
Exactly.
house with plumbing, electricity, everything already built in, and they let the carrier decorate the interior, the exterior. Now, there's advantages and disadvantages. Some people do like custom homes, but most of us are okay if my house has 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, as long as I get to decorate and personalize it. So sorry, I
Pretty
think
good.
that analogy is going to stop working soon, so I'm going to stop using it.
Perfect.
But um, so how does that help customers like Eric and Francois? It helps them by providing all the infrastructure, right? They don't have to worry about, oh my God, now I have to get plumbing connected to my house and I have to get electricity. Like, it's turnkey, right? Here's the keys.
Yeah.
Go for it. All you need to do is go figure out your furniture and your paint and what you want the house to look like. But you use the right word, which is turnkey. A lot now. There is a lot of there are still with Guidewire incredible amounts of customization and configuration opportunities, but a lot of it, the parts you don't want to worry about are turnkey, and they're available for you on day one.
That's perfect. That's perfect. Your analogy is at least for me, I'm visual, so now I get it. But Eric and Francois, was this a part of your decision? I mean, this is the evolution of software is quite incredible if you think about it, because I mean, in the back in time, let's say a couple of years or 3 years, I mean, you had to have a lot of workforce, to and complexity, and responsibilities. Now this is kind of shifted. What was this impact, or let's say dimension, perceive and consequently, what are the advantages that you have seen through it?
Like I said earlier, we are in a market that is in transformation, so we need to be time to market. And in our space is property and casualty insurance, and Guidewire has been very strong and is very strong in that space. So they know our processes, they know the way we've been doing things from the beginning, and we're doing things today, and how we should evolve and also innovate. So they are helping us. So the example that Gal has used, they bring us a house with the plumbing and so on. That's what we need. Well, that's what we want, and that's what we need, because, like Gal said earlier, also, all of our developers can focus on bringing new value to our employees and also to our customer, and that's what they are offering to us with the Guidewire Cloud platform, and that's what we require if we want to still do a panel like this one in 10 years or 20 years in front of us. So I would say that
Yeah,
would be my answer for that question.
perfect, perfect. And Francois, what would be yours? What was your take on this?
Yes, there's something that Gal just said that is so true, that Guidewire did a lot of things, a lot of great things in the recent year with the cloud, but also any new clients that coming up with we say a green field, they start their journey to Guidewire, to the Guidewire platform. They will start with their home built up, and they will only have to customize a bit, and they will be in the vanilla space, if I can say. And for all of the clients that were there for a long time, and we already have the house, we already have built it up or customizations, there's a lot of the tools that doesn't fit as well as we want it to be. So to make the go live to the cloud, you have to make the lift and shift of your house into the cloud. And again, now we are in it. We know that Guidewire is working hard. They have their APD platform that they are building up the retro engineering parts that can be used to help customers like us that have been within our house since 10 years. And the other part
Yeah.
of your question is, um, what's the impact of services that Guidewire is taking up? And right now, I will say more than ever, there's a lot of things to assess and to address. So we need that help to have somebody taking care of other little things that it doesn't add so much value to the business, because we have to focus our troops to stick and to stay to see ahead of the curve.
Interesting. So, Gal, from your perspective of this kind of shift of kind of service package and turnkey, uh, we hear that there's a big advantages for the clients. Um, is this that you see as a tendency of the market? I mean, is Guidewire different than the other companies? Is this like a very an amazing edge that you have compared to competition?
That's an interesting question. I think so, yes, in that we have managed to combine a platform that delivers a lot of standard services so that you don't have to do your own plumbing, but we also have a product that is extremely customizable and configurable so that you can, knock out a wall and decide if your house has 3 rooms or 4 rooms, or if you want 2 floors or 1 floor. So yeah, I think honestly we took what was best about Guidewire in on-prem, which was the customizability and configurability, and we've put it onto a standardized platform. And yeah, I do think that's given us a really important edge by being both configurable, but also having a lot of turnkey solutions now.
I mean, if you see of the adoption, let's say, percentage of your clients, I mean, it's quite impressive to see how many people have go forward with it. That's quite a demonstration that people are confident and are convinced of the advantages. So what's the level of the adoption? I understood that there was like around 80 companies and progressively, I mean, more coming in every month, I imagine. So what is the total percentage of customers, let's say in the next 1 year or two, that you think they're going to go forward with this Guidewire Cloud platform? Do you have some ideas or numbers on this?
It's hard to tell. And again, insurance is and I think Francois and Eric know this, right? I mean, insurance, especially for core software, it's a multi-year cycle for when people do major upgrades. But the majority of new Guidewire implementation these days are on the cloud by far. And I would expect, if we are at, let's say, 20 to 25% of our customers now in the cloud, I would expect that to quickly grow to 50% in the next couple of years. That's the goal.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so to go on another spectrum of our panel, because now we have, it's 12:08 Eastern time, so we've got about 12 minutes to chat together, and then we'll go to the question of the audience. Maybe for Eric and Francois, we've talked about it a little bit, but to prepare the different implementation strategies of the Guidewire Cloud platform, can you elaborate about the process you took in the preparation of it? So how did you prepare, how did you think about the processes to receive this new package, this new kind of shift?
Eric, do you want
Maybe
to go?
Francois, can you?
Yeah, I can
Eric.
do. First, I did call Francois, and then I did call Gal. No, I'm joking, but before starting our project, I went to Guidewire Connections in order to have a better understanding of how a journey to the cloud works. and what I can expect, what are our potential risks, what are the things to be careful. And then I did have a lot of conversation with Francois and other colleagues from other insurance companies here in Canada that have done that same journey as well. They've been very generous with me. They've been very helpful. And then I did have a lot of discussion with Guidewire, Gal, and so on, in order to understand the process, how it works, the different phases, the technical phase, and then the integration points, and then all the dry runs and the user acceptance tests and so on. We've been discussing with Guidewire partners like GFT and others in order to get that information. And then we began our journey. We went with a fixed price approach project, and we've been following that and helping the Guidewire services and GFT throughout the road, and it's going pretty well right now. And in regard to the June 19 go live, we've been having a lot of workshops with Gal's team to understand how it works, the SLAs, how because an insurance company like us, we have a regulator, and we have a lot of things that we have to be careful when we do a change management and how we manage our incidents and so on. So we have internal audits, external audits. So we want to be well prepared. We have a lot of processes that we have built over the years that we're used to. We need to now change these processes with how the cloud is working and how Guidewire is doing things. So we've been preparing ourselves for that, and we should be hopefully we should be good on June 19, like Francois did a few weeks ago on their side.
Good, good.
Yes.
And Francois?
And as for the elaboration part, for sure, having a great communication channel with Guidewire folks. It's a key element because it's their platform. They know it so well. So it's very important to have a good communication there, and to nail the change that will occur on your end. And prior to going to the cloud, there's the phase where we need to assess what will be the imputability, the responsibilities of each parts, and each carrier have their own needs. And there's a big discussion there happening, and it's really, really, really important. And as Eric told, just told, it's important to talk with others about what was their experience and what they see. And with those
Yeah.
talks, we decided in our preparation, we had to choose between two approach, an approach with all of our platforms all at once, or separate the platforms to go more as a one by one approach. And mainly we saw that for Promutuel, the one by one approach was a little bit less riskier, but the risk to go with all at once was not so important for us. So it's important to make your impact analysis for your company before choosing of those two approach. And it went really well for our journey. We never had any risk uh, between the platforms. We had plenty of risk for sure, but never related to the Big Bang solution that we implemented. So it's really important to see where you're at, what's your risk at your company, and choose between those two paths. Because when we talk with other carrier prior to go on the cloud, it was kind of half and half that choose the so there's no right decision. It's the right decision for you.
Yeah. But still, as your experience, I mean, and as I can see, could we say that you at Promutuel decided to take a bigger chunk compared to maybe Beneva that seems to go in a different way. Could we say that you took a big bite? And when I say this, is not that big is meaning is more like you went larger. Let's say, was it more equal? Was it like because now you're in the stabilization phase, and I mean, I'm imagine that sometimes you sleep a little less. No.
By the end of the project, for sure, there was sometimes that was with maybe a little
Intense.
less sleep, more intense, but it was related to the lessons to that I said earlier. It's the point where uh, you need to assess the changes between your IT process internally that you have on prem and the new process that you will have on cloud.
Yeah.
And
That's
we
very
focus
interesting.
our
Yeah.
efforts maybe a bit more with the upgrade itself and the project itself. But in the end,
Yes.
when we had when we went live, there was not so much. The problem wasn't in the cloud itself. The problem was because the upgrade is huge. It's the V8 that we had with all of our customization that has to went to V9, V10, and the 5 new version of the cloud. This was
Yeah.
the main problems and to assess.
Challenges.
Yes, and
Good.
right
Good.
now
Uh,
it's a it was mostly a speed to market decision mostly for the decision about the Big Bang or going with the both platforms.
good. Good. So, if I try to extract the for me as a change management person into preparing the teams and also to look at the two let's say phases before and after, and you say let's measure the gap and let's prepare for this gap. uh, I hear that the communication is mostly the key here, because not only the communication that you have in turn and how you prepare your team, but also the communication that seems to be very seamless with Guidewire taking you by the hand and providing this coaching. This is what I hear, is that you took the time to communicate to your team, and also Guidewire is coaching you very intensively, and this is part of this service orientation between the let's say they give you the tool to build a house, and now the house exists, so it's kind of more seamless. Is that what I understand,
Yes, yes,
Francois?
exactly.
Uh,
Yes.
I think that
Yes,
Francois
Eric.
will agree with me that Guidewire is amazing with their customers. They are close to us. We are partners and customers. They hear us. They are there for us. They do some kind of coaching. They give us the good ins. They do validation of our roadmaps and so on. And it's not something I've done a lot in the past, and I've been working with a lot of providers in the past, to be honest. And Gadar is amazing. I don't know, François, if you agree, but Gadar is very close to us, and they want us to be
Yep.
successful, and they want us to be successful as a long-term partnership, from what I see.
May I add something to that, which is I came, before Guidewire, I've been at Guidewire for 4 years. Before Guidewire, I came from a company that sold to the SMB, right? So we had 30,000 small businesses using our software. It's hard to get to know customers. It's hard to get to know their needs. Guidewire has, I think, around 500 customers, right? And these customers have been with us, many of them, Francois was saying 10 years, right? We've had customers that have been with us for 20 years. Every single one of those, this isn't Gmail where you log in and within 30 minutes you're up and going on a new account. Guidewire, even in the cloud, requires work, weeks and months of
Yeah.
work to get working, and so we don't have that many customers, and yeah, we invest in each one of them, so every customer gets a TAM, a customer success person. We have to. This is a pretty complex. Listen, we can make it as simple as we can, but the truth is it is a pretty complex platform, and if it's to our benefit. If we want the customer to be successful,
Totally.
then we've got we've got to invest the time.
And we have the proof today because the voice of the customer is key and we have it. And so folks, thank you very much for this panel. Let's go to some question here that we have from the crowd. So for Gal, we have this person that is asking, how is Insurance Suite on Guidewire Cloud better than the on-prem version of Guidewire Insurance Suite? What are the key pros and cons?
Ooh, that's okay. I will try to summarize real quick. Technologically, we've taken Insurance Week and containerized it just to make it easier to run, right? So in terms of the infrastructure, we can scale up and scale down, start up much more easily. So that's very bare bones, the technology, as well as we've decomposed some of the functionality of Insurance Suite into microservices that now do cool new things, right? So APD is a great example of that. The new claims autopilot is a great example of that. And so while we have taken Insurance Suite, containerize it, make it a lot easier to run in the cloud, we've also added these other microservices on the side that now add new functionality. That's the, if you give me another half hour,
And
I'll expand more, but those are the two basic
what
ways of making it
and and
better.
and what are the key pros and cons?
I mean, the key pro is that you have a lot more functionality. It's easier to run. It's much more performant. So the key, that's the key benefit. The I will also be honest. The disadvantage is that we are much more opinionated. So I think to Francois's point, he had 10 years of stuff that they had built themselves, and in some cases we had to go like, yeah, that you can't do that on Guidewire Cloud. So that the advantage is you get stuff out of the box that works, you get all this new functionality. The disadvantage is then in some cases, and we tried to minimize this as much as possible, there were some things that we have simply said, like, you can't do that in the cloud. You gotta, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Security, like we have a way of federating with our IDP, and we told people like, this is the way we do authentication in the cloud. So
Yeah, and in this pros and cons, Eric and Francois, do you feel it that because of you know, and this is software in general. I mean, you have this process the software is using, and then you have your own processes, and then you say, well, okay, I'm going to choose in this case Guidewire Cloud. So they're kind of like not imposing, but it's kind of certain times you don't have any choice. Was that like a very let's say hard on the process and the change, or not really? I'm related to
When you do
the pros and cons, you know.
when you do change of business processes, it's never easy. But like I said earlier, Guidewire is very strong in property and casualty. So they know our business, they know our processes. So we were not that far. So it's been not a major issue, but of course it's a change management and it's a project in itself. But when you're there, yeah, then you get the value out of it. So that's amazing. We have the same statistics and even better in some cases that we had with our legacy system. So it's just the taking the time to do the change management, the training, and so on, and then the magic operates. So that's not an issue. And now that you're there, you have an awesome toolbox with some of the features that Gal just shared. But we can have the analytics, the Vanguard, the marketplace, the everything around the rating engine, and then the APD, the new low code approach. So it's just wow for us. So. I would say there's pros, but of course, in order to get that, it's a project in itself.
Good, perfect.
Yes,
So
and
we have
oh,
yes, François, go
I
ahead.
would just wanted to add up on the what just Eric said, because it's so true that we receive sometimes some elements from Guidewire that we need to standardize a bit, and for sure the change on our part, it's easier sometimes to understand the ask because of the technical constraints that we understand. But on the business side, sometimes it doesn't make sense, and we all need to communicate more about the needs there. because sometimes there's change that can be made by Guidewire also. It's very important, and in the future, as I see it, we need to be uh, both together in the boat of the cloud. It's going so fast, so Guidewire is going like that. If we customize, we are making up a path on the sideways, and we will not be able to go as fast. So it's very
Good.
important to respect the way that we are going. It's kind of a wedding. We are in this together now.
Yeah.
That's nice to hear. Congratulations. Uh, so we still have 5 minutes to go to answer this last question that is asked to everyone. It's more a little bit more technical. What should a Guidewire customer development team expect in terms of a difference when building code on Guidewire Cloud instead of self-manage? Maybe Gal or François, you can start with this.
Go for it, Francois.
Yes. Um, for sure, there was on our end a lot of changes because we had our own tool sets and processes in place, and our own little habits of making a process. For example, just a small example there. Our developers at some point they could, if they wanted to, ask for the permission to go to the database and seek the information as they need, and now they can't anymore. And it's harder for them to fix issues when we have to analyze the data from the database. So it's kind of the process where if we are there, we need to send a tickets, for example, to have a particular answer. And so there was other little things like that, but all of the little things is the Guidewire platform is evolving really rapidly, and we are kind of in the first wagon of the train to go within the cloud. And Guidewire is still working on the tool sets for the developers. So before, when we start up the journey, the release management of code and the graduation of code was completely manual, and we had to ask Guidewire to perform this. And now we have API, not API, but tooling set that can that empowers our developers to make those things happening there by themselves. And we still need the API though for this part.
Yeah. It's on the list. And by the way,
And
I'd like to add to that I mean, we listen. This platform is 4 years old, right? So we hear loud and clear that our customers have requests, right? And Francois made a really good example right now of like database access, right? This was something that for the first couple of years of Guidewire Cloud Platform, we were like, yeah, I don't think we want to give people direct access to the database, but we had our customers telling us, but my dev needs this. They need to understand what's going on. So we introduced something called read replicas, where customers can now get access to the database to do queries and such. So I get it. If
sure.
anybody ever hears me say the platform is done and I've delivered all the features, I'm clearly lying. We have
And if
a backlog.
so, we have excuse me to maybe pass to Eric because we have 2 minutes. Maybe Eric, you can wrap up with your side of the story about this shift.
Yeah, of course. So one important thing, and Gal, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the base code of the cloud version is the V10. So it has evolved, of course, because they are at their sixth version right now, but it's the same base code at the beginning. So it's the same architecture that the on-prem. It's the same language for the configuration. It's the same way of doing the integration. But so for the developers, the development environments are fairly similar. The way they've been working until today, it's similar. What is different, like Francois said, it's the tooling. So there's a learning curve, and there are certifications that our experts need to perform in order to be able to work with the cloud. But as soon as it's there, they are up running like they were with the on-prem release. And like I said earlier, and Gal just said, they hear their customers a lot, and they are now adding new things to give our developers more autonomy, like the database as an example. So it's different, but it's not that different at the same time. It's not a brand new architecture with a brand new product and a brand new way of doing things. They are not lost on the cloud, released in the cloud environments.
Perfect. So thank you very much for this first panel. Thank you, everybody that is live, that is online and listen to us. Now we're going to go to the break time, but there's a presentation that we're going to do on the talent pool of iBrain, the Guidewire talent pool. Daniela will help us with our product manager. So thank you very much, Francois. Thank you very much, Eric. Thank you very much, Gal, for this first panel. So we're going to see you later, Eric and Gal, at the third panel. That will be in about 1 hour and a half. And Francois, you're going to be with us for the second panel, talking about how did you successfully implemented a distant development team for the Guidewire project. So see you later, folks. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for sharing all your knowledge and expertise.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.